Hey, this is Kay from Highway Hypodermics with 7 Questions Sunday, and this week we're going to discuss traveling in an RV. What type of RV is best for travelers? After you've been to a few dealers, you'll get an idea of what type of RV is best for you and your situation, whether you're traveling by yourself, whether you're traveling with a spouse or a significant other, or if you're traveling with your family. Most full timers will go with a fifth wheel or a Class A or Class C, which is Class A and Class C is a motorhome. Class A's are the big motorhomes. Class C's are the small ones that have like the little cab over bed to them, or sometimes they're entertainment centers now. So those are great for single women because you can be inside of a Class C or a Class A and nobody knows that you're by yourself. Personally, I travel with a bumper pull. It's because my truck can't pull a fifth wheel since we have a permanent tonneau cover on the back of it. So that is my choice. But as I said, most people do travel in a fifth wheel. A lot of them do travel in fifth wheels, and a few people do travel in Class A's. So it just depends on your budget a lot and how much your truck can pull. Also, if you're pulling a fifth wheel, if you can carry a big enough fifth wheel to live in, or you might have to end up upgrading. What floor plan is best for travelers? There's kitchens in front, kitchens in back. It depends how many bedrooms do you need? How many kids do you have? Do you need a bunkhouse? I know there's a lot of trailers now that have bunkhouses and have up to 4 bunks in them. So, and they're really, really nice. So, look at what your needs are. Go to a lot of different shows and a lot of different RV dealers to see what type you think is going to be best for you and your family. Look at trailers. When you're looking at trailers, know how much your truck can pull. In the bathrooms, I know this is going to sound crazy, but sit on the toilet, see what kind of toilet it has, and does it feel comfortable to you, because you're going to be sitting on that thing. And make sure you go into the shower, very important. Make sure that you can fit into the shower comfortably. I personally don't like the corner ones. I'd rather have the oblong rectangular ones. But, make sure that you can fit in the shower comfortably. What options should I look for in an RV? There are plenty of options with, there's toy haulers now that are really great. You can pull a golf cart, you can take your motorcycles with you, your Harleys or your Hondas, and you can take your four-wheelers. There's lots of extra, you can just use it for extra space to carry all your stuff in. It just depends how much stuff you have, how much hobbies. I know one gal made a sewing room out of her toy hauler. So, and another thing you want to look for is how big of a refrigerator do you need. Some of these RVs now come with a full-size domesticated refrigerator, like what you would find in a house. How big of a big screen TV do you need? I mean, they're coming up to 60-inch TVs in these RVs. Do you need a fireplace? It just depends on what you personally need and what you want. If you're getting a large RV, I would suggest getting one with a camera in the back so that you have a backup camera. Very, very handy. Outdoor living space. Now the RVs are coming with TVs outside, refrigerators outside, grills outside, and you can have your own party outside. Don't forget about looking for a beer fridge. Are there any RV park rules that I need to know about? Number one, make sure that you know the rules before going to the RV park. You must have the proper sewer hookups. There's a little plastic gizzy that goes on the end of your sewer hose that makes sure it fits down into that sewer receptacle. So make sure you have one of those. When you go to the park, ask about weekly and monthly rates. You might have to pay a daily rate until you get to a Saturday or a Sunday to get on the weekly rates, and make sure that if they have a monthly rate, to take that monthly rate. Be sure you know about any pet rules. There's size restrictions, breed restrictions, and leaving your pets at home when you go to work. Can you leave your pet at home if you're working all by yourself? If you're going to be leaving your pet at home during the day, you might also ask the manager if there's anybody that does dog walking during the day. So there's a lot of people who will do that for you. Make sure there's pet areas if that's important to you. There's lots of places who do have dog runs. So make sure your rig looks good when you go to these parks. A lot of parks now have this 10-year rule, which if you send them a picture, sometimes you can get by that rule. But, they just don't want the park looking like a redneck trailer park. So I don't blame them there. Not that there's not rednecks in the trailer park, and if you're going to go to Oklahoma, you need to ask about if there's a railroad track beside it, because I think we have a rule in Oklahoma that says that trailer parks must have a railroad track. Anyway, so, make sure that your rig looks nice and that, you ask to see if there's any restrictions if you have a rig that's 10 years or older. How do I get internet and TV? Well, most of the trailer parks do have wireless internet now, but some of them have the old-fashioned Tango. So you want to ask this question whenever you're calling to see if they have availability. You want to ask to see what kind of internet they have, because if it's Tango internet, you can only run one device on it. It's very limited, very slow. So be careful of trailer parks that have that old Tango system. A lot of the parks will have, as I said, will have the wireless. Some will still have cable internet to where you can call the cable company and they will come out and get you all hooked up with a cable modem for your internet. And some people just use their cell phone. So, just make sure that you got the right package for a cell phone and that that what your limit is. And if you can do your streaming, especially if you're doing your TV by internet and your movies, your Netflix. So you'll need to make sure that you have an idea on what your cell phone plan is. Can I take my family and pets with me? Most definitely you can take your pets and family. In fact, traveling in an RV is really the best option if you're traveling with a pet. You don't have to pay some of these apartments are doing pet rental fees now. You don't have to pay that. You don't have to pay usually a fee for your pets. Now, if you're going to go into one of those little posh RV parks, you might have to pay for a pet, but most of your quote regular trailer parks, you don't have to worry about pet. Traveling with a spouse is a great way to get out and explore on your days off. You don't have to go by yourself. You have someone to go with you. Some of the husbands I know will work for the trailer park and do maintenance or yard work or whatever. Some of the husbands do temporary work with like Kelly Services or Manpower or just a local employment agency. And then there's always Uber and Lyft. A lot of husbands are doing that now, or doing some other kind of thing. Even flopping burgers or delivering pizzas will make you some extra money. And of course, you can take your kids with you. Get you a bunkhouse, throw them all four of them in the back, and merrily down the road you go. This one guy I traveled with, we were like 2 or 3 assignments together at the same RV park. I don't know how, but it was just by accident. Or it wasn't planned. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, it wasn't planned, but we scooted around with each other about 3 assignments, and he had a 5th wheel with a bunkhouse in the back, and they homeschooled their kids. So a lot of people are doing this. They're traveling as a family. It's a great way for the kids to get out and learn. They learn we homeschooled our son. We homeschooled, so it's a great way to get out, and they, especially with the history and science, they experience the history, they experience science. So to me, it's a great way to travel with your kids. If I travel in an RV, do I lose my tax home? This is a sticky situation, and then it's better if you go ahead and keep your sticks and bricks home. I know some people who will just sell their house, get rid of everything, put it into a Class A RV, get one of them big buses, and away they go. And that's just fine. You're going to be an itinerant worker, and you can do travel assignments, but you need to be all taxed on everything because you are an itinerant worker and your tax home changes with you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I personally have a sticks and bricks home. I park my RV on the side whenever we come home for the summer. And, that's a great way to travel. You cannot just buy a piece of land and put your RV pad out there. You must have some kind of like a tiny home. To me, that would be the perfect thing. Buy a piece of land out at the lake, put your little tiny home on it, park your RV in between assignments and stay in the tiny home, then take your home. You got to have one home on wheels and one home without wheels to count it as a tax home. But yeah, even tiny homes, but you got to have living quarters. It can't be a storage shed, even though it's in a gated community. And, as I said, you can't have an RV pad. You got to have. Now, also, if you look in Arizona and Florida and Texas, there are some places down there that will have, inside of an RV park, they will have a special place to where it has a bedroom and a bath. They have these little houses or casitas that have a living area in it, and you can use those as a permanent home. And you buy the little tiny home, or even they have park models right there and a place to park your RV, and you can actually purchase those and it becomes your property. So I'd also look into that. So, all right, well, I hope this helps you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.